Hi, I'm Hazel. It's almost Saturday today, which makes it time to sit down and catch up on the WoW news of the week, what's been up with me, and answer some of your questions. I just recorded this entire thing without pressing the record button, so that sucked, but then I ate a piece of chocolate, and that helped. In WoW news this week, everybody's favorite Blizzard dad Ian sat down with a couple of different websites to do 8.2 interviews. He managed to do that without really telling us anything new about 8.2, but he reminded us that it's coming. Key takeaways from these interviews: they did confirm there will be no new allied races in 8.2, so if you were still holding on to hope for that, you could just go ahead and let that go. Also said there were no plans to add any new specs to existing classes. I don't think that one was like a real rumor, but it was something that people have been speculating that they might do for a while, and I'm kind of glad that he killed it, because I don't really like the idea. Like, if they're gonna do new classes, I would rather them just do a new class and be like, this is the new class, these are its specs, this is what it does, this is the fantasy, as opposed to, well, you already have some classes, and maybe they can just do different things that we now have to balance against the existing things, and you have already kind of made up your mind about that class, and like, I don't know, less fun. And then for what I thought was the most interesting thing, he was talking about the Heart of Azeroth and how in 8.2, in case you missed it, instead of Azerite levels unlocking your ability to use Azerite traits in your gear, instead you'll just have access to all that already, and then your Azerite levels will unlock traits on your Heart of Azeroth, much like the artifact weapon was in Legion. And he said that some of those traits are going to be passive and some will be active. And he said the active traits are going to be like, you know, rotation changing, put it on your bar, press it all the time style active traits. And I'm really interested to see if that's possible, because as far as I know, like, everybody has a Heart of Azeroth, right? So is it going to have different traits depending on who's wearing it? Or will there be universal traits that are just somehow universally useful in everybody's rotation? I'm interested to see how that actually works out. Maybe we know already and I just missed it, but either way, we'll find out in the PTR. And speaking of the PTR, they did put up an 8.2 build that is encrypted, so we don't know what's in it. And Ian said that there will be a big info dump soon. It's hard to tell what they mean sometimes when they say soon, but considering that there is an encrypted build just like sitting there with a big curtain over it, you know, they're up to something. He also said that Nazjatar is going to be trying new things in terms of what endgame content is, in addition to doing stuff that they know works. So I'm also curious to find out what that means, because, you know, it could be something cool and wild and new that we've never seen before, or it could be just like, Naga rares give more Azerite power on Thursdays. Like, it's there's a range there, so, you know, hopefully something neat. And that was about it from the interviews. Other things coming up this week, the Darkmoon Fair is going to be arriving on Sunday for the first time since the patch. So this weekend and next week, you'll be able to check out the new Darkmoon Fair roller coaster. You'll be able to buy the new balloon animal pets on the vendor if you like. There's going to be like fishable fish heads out of the sea, which I'm less excited about because I don't think that they're transmoggable. And then last week was pretty much just April Fools. Blizzard put out their cute fake patch notes that I always get a kick out of, and had this tool where their website was like translated to Murloc language for a day, which looked like overkill but funny. And then I fell real hard for the Wowhead one. Like, when Blizzard does fake patch notes, they do like build 9.7 point whatever, and it's like obviously really fake. But Wowhead did this data mining post that was like 8.2 data mining, Lightforged Undead uncovered, and they had these like really good looking mock-ups of Lightforged Undead, and I was blinded by the fact that I really wanted it to be real, and fell for that one real hard, so that was embarrassing. I should know better than to like look at my phone at all during April 1st. I might set a reminder for next year telling me to just like put it away. And then for me, I was excited to get a couple of mounts this week. After 6 months of farming Zul'Gurub during my mount run streams, we finally got the Zul'Gurub Raptor, and then the same day got the Astral Cloud Serpent. That was wild. I don't know what's next. I think I might do Throne of Thunder next, but like obviously not on 14 characters, because I tried it and I timed it and it was like a 20-minute run. So maybe Throne of Thunder next, but no mount run this upcoming Tuesday. I am not available on April the 9th, so we're skipping a week, but then we'll be back at it with something. And questions from this week. Renee says, I found TD scripts on that page just in reference to WoW-Pet Guide. Is it something that you use? And if so, could we get a video guide for it? So TD script is basically an add-on, kind of like TSM, but for pet battling, in that you give it a script that somebody has written, and then in a pet battle, it will just provide you with a button, and you mash the button, and every time you mash the button, it chooses your move for you based on that script. So because you're there and you're actively mashing the button, it's not technically botting, but it's not also, it also kind of, for me at least, takes like the last shred of gameplay out of pet battles, so I don't personally use it, but I definitely see the use case for it, especially in something like squirt leveling, where you're just doing the same pet battle over and over and over again. I could see why you'd want a button to mash. So because I haven't tried it, I'm not planning a video guide anytime soon, but the gist of it, I think, is just install it, import a script from a website, and then just mash the button, assuming that you're not trying to write the scripts. I think that's it. I Love Pancakes asks, who or what is the most fun raid boss for a Shadow Priest in your opinion? So on the current tier, my favorite boss is Jadefire Masters, because you can really like flex the multi-dotting damage by multi-dotting obviously the two Jadefire Masters, but then also in that second part after the maze where there's the orbs you have to DPS down, assuming that your raid unlocks a bunch of the orbs, then you can just get dots on everything, and that's really fun. So I like that fight. As far as like overall in my entire raiding career, I would probably say something from Emerald Nightmare, because that was like the height of the insane Surrender to Madness spec, and that was the most nuts that Shadow Priest has ever been. And then within that raid, I think Dragons of Nightmare, because you could kind of like find a spot to stand that was like close enough to in between the two of them that you could dot both dragons, and then in Surrender to Madness you would just be pumping out damage, but if you miss a global or you mess up or you end up like a little bit out of range of the dragon you're supposed to hit, or you get slept, which is a thing that could happen on that fight, you wouldn't just lose damage, you would be dead. It was super high stakes, it was crazy high damage, it was really fun. I don't think I really want to go back to any kind of gameplay like that. Like, it was cool, but it was also a little bit too stressful. But man, that was something while it lasted. Grapspa807 says, I level a lot of alts and upgraded all of the heirlooms except for the 3 Azerite pieces. Do you think it's worth it to upgrade those for 110 to 120, or go with the Azerite armor and the abilities that they unlock? So in my opinion, and I don't know that I'm right, but I think that the 30% experience very much outweighs the baby Azerite traits that you get on leveling Azerite gear, especially considering the fact that your heirlooms will scale up in stats as you level up, so you're only losing the baby traits. I have leveled a couple of characters 110 to 120 over the last couple of weeks, and I've done it with upgraded heirlooms every time. I definitely didn't have any problems killing anything, so in my opinion, upgrade the heirlooms, use those 110 to 120, and then just get some like Azerite gear out of a world quest real quick once you finish leveling. And Texan Joe Coffeehouse asks, I haven't done islands since shortly after they came out. I was wondering if you still have to target specific elites to get drops, or can you just complete it normally now? So you can't just complete it normally. There is no longer any difference that you can make to the drop rates of stuff after you're in the island. The stuff that is on the island determines what it can drop, regardless of what you kill while you're there. As long as you were there and the thing was there, it will have a chance to drop whatever it can drop. So it's just total RNG. Do the island in whatever way is fastest to you. Actually, last week, the fastest way to do them, because the rabbit's paw was on the like boat doubloon vendor, that's an item that reduces your detection radius. So the thing that people were doing was grabbing Darkmoon Firewater for faster gathering, and then stacking that with a reduced detection radius, so you could just run around and mine everything without ever pulling mobs. And it was faster. But I am glad that it's over until the next time the rabbit's paw thing comes back, because I prefer just killing stuff. It's more fun. And then also, if there's ever a situation where I have to not aggro something, I'm probably going to trip and aggro it. I like step on a rock and then I like fall off the rock, and somehow my character falls like 5 feet to the side, and I've just like ruined the whole Mythic Plus run for everybody. So, and Maddie DJ asks, where are your favorite places to level on both Horde and Alliance? So Alliance is hard to pick, even though I level on that more often. I think it's probably Northern Stranglethorn, because you have all of the Hemet Nessingwari quests. I love any sets of quests that are just like really, really, really clear and straightforward and just kill X of these things and Y of these things. I love those ones. Also, it's sunny there, and I have an innate preference for zones that look like they're just having a nice, warm, sunny day. For Horde, it's definitely got to be the Hillsbrad Foothills. I think that's the best questing zone, at least in my opinion, that they've ever done, or at least it's the most fun. Like, play through Hillsbrad Foothills, like the whole zone, as a Horde character, you know, read the quest text, listen to what people are saying to you, watch the cutscenes. The whole place is a blast. There's so much going on, and I love that zone. It's so good. And that has been my week. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you have any questions that you would like answered on a vlog, please leave them in the comments of the most recent vlog. I will not be doing a Mount Run stream on Tuesday once again, but I might squeak one in later in the week. We'll see. I'll keep you posted. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.